The greatest power you will ever possess is not in the strength of your body or the wealth you hold in your hands, but in the thoughts you allow to occupy your mind. Thought is the seed of all creation. It is the invisible force that shapes visible reality. The very world you live in has been molded by the ideas, imaginations, and convictions of men and women who dared to believe that what they held within their minds could one day become real. Listen to this carefully. Reality itself bends to the direction of your dominating thoughts. What you think consistently, with feeling and belief, will eventually manifest in your experience. Every invention, every fortune, every advancement in civilization began in the same place, a single thought in the unseen realm of the mind. Before the airplane soared, it existed in the imagination of the Wright brothers. Before skyscrapers touched the heavens, they were first blueprints etched in the dreams of architects. Before the digital world you hold in your palm existed, it was merely the vision of a thinker who refused to let doubt smother possibility. Do you see what this means? You hold within you the same instrument that shaped all of human progress, the mind that thinks, imagines, and directs reality. The question is not whether you have the power to bend reality. The question is whether you have learned to control and discipline that power. For most people, thought is scattered, inconsistent, and weak. They think one thing in the morning, another in the afternoon, and the opposite by night. They are driven by the influence of outside circumstances instead of directing their own minds toward a definite purpose. And because their thoughts are disorganized, their reality remains chaotic. But those who have disciplined their minds, those who have learned to think with clarity, intensity, and persistence, discover that reality itself begins to rearrange in their favor. It is not enough to casually wish for something. Wishes are fragile and disappear like smoke in the wind. What bends reality is the steady flame of desire, burning long after obstacles arise, long after critics laugh, long after the journey grows difficult. When your desire is strong, when it occupies your thoughts day and night, when it becomes the obsession of your heart, reality has no choice but to yield to it. The world makes way for the person who knows exactly what he wants and refuses to surrender until he attains it. But let us be clear, thought alone is not enough. Thought is the seed, but it must be nourished by faith and action. Faith is the unseen bridge between the inner world of imagination and the outer world of manifestation. Without faith, the seed of thought dries up in the soil of doubt and never grows. With faith it germinates, pushes upward against all resistance, and breaks into the light of reality. Faith is the conviction that what you have imagined is already on its way, even if all external evidence seems to deny it. Faith is the refusal to accept appearances as final. Faith bends reality because it holds fast to the unseen truth until the seen world conforms. Action, then, is the tool by which thought becomes flesh. You cannot sit idly, dreaming of fortune, while refusing to move your hands. You cannot envision success while lying in the comfort of laziness. Thought directs, faith sustains, but action builds. The universe responds to the one who acts as though success is already his. Every step taken with conviction strengthens the bridge between mind and matter. Each action, no matter how small, sends a signal to reality. This vision is not a wish, it is a certainty. And reality, like a faithful servant, begins to obey. Understand that failure is not your enemy, it is your greatest instructor. Reality does not bend instantly to your desires. It tests your strength, your resolve, your determination. It asks, do you truly want this, or are you merely playing with fantasy? Those who give up at the first sign of difficulty reveal that their desire was weak, their faith shallow, their vision blurry. But those who rise after each fall, those who learn from each setback, those who keep pressing forward regardless of opposition, these are the ones who discover that reality eventually surrenders to persistence. The river of circumstance always bends to the stone of determination when it is struck repeatedly. Every person is surrounded by invisible forces that shape reality. Call them vibrations, energy, spirit, or law. It matters little what name you give them. The truth remains: your mind sends out a frequency, and that frequency attracts experiences of like kind. Think fear, and you will draw to yourself reasons to be afraid. Think failure, and you will stumble into repeated defeats. Think prosperity, and doors of opportunity begin to open. Think love, and relationships bloom around you. You live in a world that mirrors back to you the content of your mind. If you do not like what you see in the mirror of reality, do not curse the mirror. Change the thoughts that are being reflected. Many wander through life complaining that the world is unfair, that others have more luck, more opportunities, more connections. But luck is not a mysterious gift given to a chosen few. Luck is the residue of consistent thought, focused desire, and unwavering action. Those who appear lucky are simply those who have mastered the art of holding an image in their minds until reality bends to it. They have planted their seeds of thought, watered them with faith, and nourished them with action, until the harvest inevitably arrived. Do not underestimate the power of imagination. Imagination is not childish fantasy. It is the workshop of reality. Every empire was first an image in someone's imagination. Every masterpiece of art, every discovery of science, every triumph of the human spirit began in that inner workshop. But imagination must be disciplined, directed, and used with purpose. A mind that imagines without control produces chaos. A mind that imagines with precision produces miracles. Ask yourself daily, what am I imagining? For whatever images dominate your mind will soon take shape in your life. Your words, too, hold tremendous power. Every word is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Speak defeat, and your subconscious will lead you into defeat. Speak strength, and your subconscious will summon strength. Words are not idle sounds, they are vibrations that instruct reality. Be careful, then, of the language you use about yourself, about your circumstances, about your future. Speak as though your vision is certain. Speak as though your success is inevitable. Speak as though reality is already bending in your favor, because when you do, you command unseen forces to align with your declaration. Surround yourself with those who encourage your vision, for the environment of your mind is as important as the seed you plant. A fertile seed cannot grow in barren soil. If you constantly associate with those who belittle your dreams, mock your ambition, and poison your faith, you will find your vision withering. But if you align with those who inspire you, who believe in the power of the mind, who push you to greater heights, you will discover that your own belief grows stronger. Reality bends more quickly when minds unite in harmony toward a common vision. Guard also the images and influences you allow into your mind. Your subconscious is always listening, always absorbing, always recording. Every image, every word, every experience you expose yourself to becomes a part of the soil in which your thoughts grow. If you fill your mind with fear, violence, and doubt, you will reap those same fruits in reality. If you fill your mind with faith, hope, and courage, your reality will blossom with opportunity. Choose wisely the books you read, the voices you listen to, the environments you dwell in, for these will shape the reality that bends around you. Now let us confront one of the greatest truths. You are the master of your own destiny, not fate, not chance, not the whims of others. Within you lies the power to design your life as you will. This truth is both liberating and terrifying. It is liberating because it places the key to success in your own hands. It is terrifying because it removes the comfort of excuses. If your life is unsatisfactory, it is because you have failed to master your thoughts, failed to direct your desires, failed to act with persistence. But the moment you accept responsibility, the moment you claim your power, The moment you decide that your reality must change, that very moment the bending of reality begins. There will always be those who scoff at these truths. They will say life is fixed, reality cannot be changed, people are bound by circumstance, but those voices are the echoes of defeated minds. History itself testifies against them. Again and again, men and women from the humblest backgrounds have risen to greatness by refusing to accept the limits of circumstance. They imagined a greater life, believed it possible, and acted until it was so. They bent reality to their will, and so can you. So what is required of you? First, decide exactly what you want. Vague wishes produce vague results. Be definite. Be precise. Write it down. Imprint it in your mind. Hold it before your inner eye until it becomes clearer than the very world you see around you. Second, believe with unshakable faith that it is possible. Let no doubt linger. Refuse to accept failure as permanent. Third, act daily, persistently, with determination. Do something every day that brings you closer to your vision. Fourth, persist through every setback, knowing that each obstacle is but a test of your resolve. Fifth, speak and think only in alignment with your vision, refusing to give energy to defeat. And finally, guard your mind, your environment, and your companions, choosing only those influences that strengthen your purpose. When you live in this manner, you will discover something remarkable. Reality itself begins to rearrange. Circumstances that once opposed you begin to support you. People you need are drawn into your life at just the right time. Opportunities appear where once there was only emptiness. What others call coincidence you will recognize as the bending of reality in response to your thought, faith, and action. Life becomes not a random series of accidents, but a deliberate creation guided by the power within you. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for conditions to be perfect. Begin now, with the tools you have, with the vision you hold, with the faith you can muster. Every day that you delay is a day lost in the construction of your reality. The perfect time will never come. The only time you ever truly possess is this moment. Right now, use it. Direct your thoughts. Strengthen your faith. Take action. For every moment you act in harmony with your vision, reality bends a little closer to your design. In conclusion, remember this: you are not a powerless victim of chance. You are the architect of your destiny, the master of your fate, the sculptor of your reality. Thought is your chisel, faith is your hammer, action is your hand, and persistence is your strength. With these, you can carve from the raw stone of circumstance a masterpiece of life. Reality does not command you, you command it. It bends to the clarity of your vision, the strength of your faith, and the persistence of your action. Take hold of this truth, live it, and you will see how reality begins to bend before you. Reality is far more pliable than most people dare to believe. It does not stand as a rigid wall that resists you, but as clay waiting to be shaped by the hands of your mind. Yet most people pass through life unaware of this gift. They allow the clay to be molded by others, by the opinions of society, by the fears of family, by the doubts of strangers. They surrender their creative power and then complain that life has been unfair. But life is neither fair nor unfair. It is obedient. It reflects back whatever has been consistently impressed upon it. If you impress weakness, it gives weakness. If you impress strength, it gives strength. If you impress poverty, it gives poverty. If you impress prosperity, it opens doors. The great discovery is that reality listens to certainty, not hesitation. The universe bends for the one who decides without wavering. Indecision is poison. When you waver between two desires, when you say one day you want success and the next you are unsure, you send out a mixed signal, and reality does not know how to respond. But when you decide with clarity, when you burn the bridges behind you and commit wholly to a single vision, the power within you is released in full force. That power begins to attract opportunities, align circumstances, and stir unseen forces to move in your favor. Every person alive is holding a pen that writes the script of their destiny, but most are scribbling unconsciously. They allow fear, anger, and doubt to grip the pen and write their story for them. The result is a life they never wanted, a reality they despise. But the wise one takes the pen back and writes deliberately. Every thought is a sentence, every belief a chapter, every action a page. Day by day, choice by choice, they write the story of triumph. And when the story is written with enough persistence and faith, reality bends to match the words. Let no one convince you that what you imagine is foolish. Let no one persuade you to abandon the dreams that make your heart burn. The masses will always doubt what they cannot see, because they are enslaved to appearances. But appearances are only the surface of reality. Beneath the surface, unseen currents are flowing, waiting for the command of your mind. Believe in those currents even when your eyes see nothing. Act as though they are already moving in your favor, and soon the surface of reality will reveal what was once invisible. You must learn to live as if your dream is already real. Walk with the posture of one who has achieved it. Speak with the confidence of one who already possesses it. Think with the certainty of one who knows the outcome is inevitable. This mental state generates a force so strong that reality begins to reorganize itself around your conviction. People are drawn to you, opportunities open, and circumstances conspire to bring forth the life you have been holding in your mind. The truth is simple. The world is a mirror, and it reflects back to you what you continually project. Project doubt, and doubt returns. Project strength, and strength is drawn to you. Project abundance, and abundance finds its way into your hands. You cannot deceive this mirror, for it does not reflect what you pretend. It reflects what you truly believe and persistently hold in thought. That is why you must guard your inner state with all diligence. Your reality will always be shaped by it. When you accept this, life ceases to be random. It becomes intentional. You stop stumbling in the dark and begin walking in the light of your own design. And as you move forward with this understanding, you will watch with amazement how reality bends, not because it is magic, but because it is law. An unchanging law that rewards those who think with purpose, believe with conviction, and act with persistence. Reality bends most easily for those who live with discipline and thought. Discipline is not a word many people enjoy, but it is the secret key. The undisciplined mind drifts, wandering from one idea to another, pulled by every passing influence. It is like a ship without a rudder, tossed wherever the waves decide, but the disciplined mind is anchored, steady, and directed toward a definite goal. It does not allow fear to plant roots. It does not waste energy on idle fantasies that contradict one another. It chooses a vision, fixes itself upon that vision, and returns to it again and again until it becomes dominant. The disciplined mind is the one that reality obeys, because it speaks with clarity and persistence. Think of the way sunlight scatters across the ground. Its warmth is gentle, but not powerful enough to cut through stone. Now think of that same sunlight, focused through a magnifying glass. Suddenly it can burn, it can pierce, it can create fire. Such is the difference between scattered thought and concentrated thought. Scattered thought warms you but changes nothing. Concentrated thought ignites reality itself. This is why those who focus their entire being on a single aim appear to move mountains, while those who divide their energy achieve nothing more than frustration. If you would bend reality, learn the art of holding a single image with unwavering faith. This is not easy in a world filled with distractions. The noise of doubt, the voice of fear, the constant reminders of your limitations will attempt to blur your vision. Yet the one who persists, the one who renews his vision each morning and guards it through each night, will discover that reality slowly begins to conform. What begins as a faint whisper within you becomes a roar that shapes the outer world. Remember also that the mind responds most powerfully to emotion. Cold, lifeless thoughts rarely bend anything, but thoughts infused with burning desire, with feeling so strong it stirs your whole being, these are the thoughts that carve new realities. Desire is fuel. It transforms ideas into living forces that command the attention of unseen powers. When you want something so deeply that your whole body vibrates with the hunger of it, when you cannot let it go because it has become a part of your very identity, then you have touched the level at which reality begins to bend. And yet, desire without direction leads only to frustration. You must know not only what you want, but why you want it. Purpose sharpens desire. A man who merely wishes for wealth will lose his way, but a man who desires wealth for a great purpose, for freedom, for service, for creation, will find strength in his desire that outlasts all trials. Purpose elevates your vision beyond mere selfishness and connects it with forces larger than yourself. When your vision serves not only you but others, the bending of reality becomes swifter, for you align with the universal law of growth and contribution. Persistence is the final ingredient that separates dreamers from creators. Many begin with excitement, few endure with patience. Reality does not bend in a day. It resists, it tests, it demands proof of your seriousness. Every delay, every obstacle, every setback is reality's question to you. How much do you really want this? If you retreat, you have answered that you were never serious. If you press on, learning from each obstacle, adjusting, growing stronger, then you prove worthy of the reward. And once reality knows you will not turn back, it yields. So do not be deceived by appearances. Do not be discouraged by delay. Hold your vision, strengthen your faith, take daily action, persist without surrender, and watch as reality begins to shape itself around you. For the truth is unshakable. Reality bends to the mind that refuses to let go of its vision. The power to bend reality begins with self-mastery. Before you can command the outer world, you must first command the inner one. The thoughts you entertain, the emotions you feed, the beliefs you accept, these are the architects of your destiny. Most people are prisoners of their own undisciplined inner world. They rise in hope when circumstances are pleasant, and they sink into despair when circumstances grow difficult. They are like puppets pulled by the strings of chance, but the one who learns to govern his inner world, who chooses thoughts deliberately, who directs emotions with wisdom, who anchors belief in the certainty of success, this person becomes master, not servant. Reality bends more quickly to those who have already bent their inner world into alignment with purpose. Do not underestimate the small moments, for they are the bricks from which your future is built. Each choice you make, each thought you permit, each action you take, sends ripples through the field of reality. The habits you practice daily are silently shaping the direction of your life. Great change is not always the product of dramatic leaps, but of consistent, disciplined steps repeated over time. The bending of reality is gradual, like the steady pull of a river carving stone, until one day the results stand undeniable before the world. That which looked impossible suddenly appears inevitable, and people call it luck or miracle. But you will know it was the law of persistence, the fruit of every small effort you refused to abandon. You must also realize that reality does not bend to mere words spoken without belief. Many say they want success, but their inner dialogue contradicts their desire. They speak of wealth but expect poverty. They dream of love but anticipate rejection. They wish for health but dwell on sickness. Such contradictions cannot bend reality. They scatter energy and weaken influence. You must unify your thoughts, words, and actions until they all point in one direction. When your inner world is aligned, the outer world has no choice but to follow. Another truth worth embracing is that your vision must be greater than your fear. Fear will visit you. It always does. It whispers, "You are not enough. You will fail. The world is too strong." But fear is only a shadow, a false image projected by the mind. It has no substance unless you feed it. If you answer fear with faith, if you remind yourself of your vision, if you refuse to bow to its intimidation, then fear dissolves and courage rises. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. When you choose courage consistently, reality begins to favor you, for you demonstrate mastery over the illusion of limitation. The ones who change the world are not those who never doubted, never failed, never struggled. They are those who carried their vision through the valley of doubt, through the fire of failure, through the storm of struggle, and emerged with their desire intact. They refused to release the image that burned within them, and reality eventually conformed. This same power belongs to you. It does not reside in the chosen few. It resides in all who dare to believe with persistence and act with purpose. When you realize this, you stop waiting for permission, you stop blaming circumstances, you stop excusing failure. You recognize that the authority has always been yours. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, reality begins to shift. The old patterns lose their hold, the new possibilities open, and the path ahead becomes clearer. That is the beginning of true freedom, the moment you know reality is not a prison but a canvas, waiting for your deliberate brushstrokes. Reality bends for those who learn to combine imagination with discipline, desire with faith, and action with persistence. It is not enough to picture your dream for a fleeting moment, and then allow doubt to choke it away. You must learn to hold it, to nurture it, to give it life through constant focus. The mind is like fertile soil, but it will grow whatever is planted within it. If you plant weeds of fear, excuses, and hesitation, they will flourish and overtake your future. If you plant seeds of vision, confidence, and determination, they too will grow, but only if you water them daily with faith and guard them from the weeds of doubt. What you cultivate in the garden of your mind is what reality will mirror back to you. Think of the countless individuals who began with nothing, no resources, no connections, no reputation, and yet rose to greatness. Their advantage was not circumstance, but belief. They bent reality by refusing to accept its initial form as final. They saw beyond the walls that surrounded them, and by holding to that greater vision, they broke through those walls. History remembers them as extraordinary, but their secret was the same power you hold in your mind today. They bent reality not because they were born different, but because they dared to think differently. The world will always test you, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. To bend reality, you must prove that you are serious. Challenges are not placed in your path to destroy you, but to strengthen you. Each obstacle is a question. Will you give up, or will you rise higher? If you choose to rise, each struggle becomes a stepping stone, each delay becomes a teacher, each failure becomes a tool. And as you continue to climb, you will find that reality itself seems to soften in your hands, yielding more quickly, responding more faithfully, because it has learned that you cannot be broken. Never forget the role of gratitude. When you give thanks for what you already have, you generate an energy that attracts more. Gratitude transforms your state of mind from lack to abundance, from despair to hope. It sharpens your awareness to opportunities already present, opportunities you might otherwise overlook. Those who complain repel blessings, those who give thanks invite them. Gratitude bends reality by tuning your thoughts to the frequency of prosperity, and reality responds in kind. You must also learn patience. Reality bends, yes, but it bends in seasons. The seed does not sprout the day after it is planted. The tree does not bear fruit the moment it breaks through the soil. Yet the farmer who trusts the process, who tends the field daily, who waits with expectancy, always reaps the harvest. So it is with your vision. Impatience is the enemy of creation. Trust the timing of your journey. Know that while you are acting, believing, and persisting, unseen forces are aligning, shaping, preparing. Reality may appear unchanged today, but beneath the surface it is shifting in your favor. Above all, never surrender your power of choice. You may not control every event, but you control your response. You may not dictate the winds, but you can set the sails, and in that choice lies the bending of reality. Every time you choose faith over fear, persistence over surrender, vision over distraction, you bend reality 1 degree closer to your dream. With time, those small degrees accumulate, and suddenly you find yourself standing in the very life you once imagined. Others will call it miracle, destiny, or fate, but you will know it was the deliberate bending of reality through the mastery of your mind. In the end, the truth is this: reality is not a fixed prison, but a living substance that responds to the command of your mind. It bends not for the doubter, not for the hesitant, not for the dreamer who quits too soon, but for the one who decides with clarity, believes with conviction, acts with courage, and persists without surrender. You have within you the power to design the life you desire, to turn unseen visions into living realities, to call forth from the invisible the very circumstances you once thought impossible. The world is waiting for your decision, your faith, your action. Take hold of this power, live it fully, and you will see that reality itself is yours to shape.